to the Heel Turn Podcast for the week of August 26, 2013. I am your host, Big Al. With me, as always, is that wonderful, amazing guy. I'm sorry, I can't put him over.
No, you can't put me over because I'm that darn good. I'm the best at what I do. Nick, the Shotmaster McGee.
And with us, as always, is...
Not always.
Well,
Not always. She's making her grand return to the Heel Turn Podcast.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the queen of fanfic fail, Sensational SoCy.
Yay! Welcome back. Where you been?
Sick.
Fanfic failing.
Yeah, failing at fan fiction.
Okay. Well, today we're going to talk very briefly on a few topics and then get into our interviews. Our topics today are the release, firing, or quitting of Ted DiBiase Jr.
He quit.
He quit, and you know what? This is a good change of scenery for Ted Jr. because WWE creative team were basically doing nothing with him. He was good in the ring, but had zero personality, no charisma, terrible on the mic. The apple did not fall from the tree, ladies and gentlemen. He just needed to change the scenery. My advice to Ted, take a vacation.
Go to Japan.
Yeah,
Go to Japan, travel the world.
According to the video he released, he isn't planning on actually wrestling. He's going to be at home and be a father.
Really?
He has no plans to actually do any work in the near future. His focus is being a father, and I can understand that because he has an infant son.
Well, and that's a blessing to have a family at home, and I wish Ted DiBiase all the luck in the world. May God bless him, and if you want to come on the Heel Turn Podcast, our door is always open.
Yes. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors, sir.
Oh.
Had to do it.
At least we mean it, though.
Yes.
Yeah, at least we... And moving right along to industry news real quick. Bill Goldberg said last weekend at Miami Marlins game, they had professional wrestling night at the game. He stated that he's open to a WWE return.
They don't want him.
Do you think Goldberg, the man, I believe he's in his mid-40s, do you think Goldberg still has something to contribute to mainstream professional wrestling?
Considering Hacksaw Jim Duggan's still working...
He's barely working.
But let's be honest. Do Goldberg think he's beyond professional wrestling in his own little world? Because the WWE approached him about a year or so ago, and supposedly they came close.
Oh no, thanks, brother.
Deal.
I've still got that show on DIY doing my Garage Mahal.
Yeah.
Does he still have that show?
I do not know.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Well, number one, who cares? I mean,
yeah, that's my thing too.
I mean,
who cares?
they approached this man about, here's a Legends deal. We like to sign you to almost a Brock Lesnar type deal, where you basically wrestle 2 or 3 times a year, get paid to stay at home, do a DVD, potentially go in the Hall of Fame, and he basically just pissed all that away.
That would make me angry.
Yeah, that would make me angry too if he went in the Hall of Fame. Because, I mean, granted, his run in WCW was great.
It was incredible.
But once he lost...
And they could put Coco Beware in the Hall of Fame, and the guy really did nothing. Yeah, Let's be honest. Why not Goldberg, a guy who's just a former United States champion, former world champ?
Left, though.
I know. I mean, Linda McMahon hated Bill Goldberg, and she thought that he was basically overpricing them when it came to contract negotiations.
But wasn't he?
Because when you looked at the ratings when he was there for that year, it really didn't do anything for the raise nor the buyout rate. So he really did not earn his money. Now, Brock Lesnar, for example, every time that guy shows up on a pay-per-view, the pay-per-view buy rate goes up at least 20-30%.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
As much as I hate Brock, he does move the needle. So.
Exactly. He earned every penny of his money, unlike Dwayne.
Yes, unlike Dwayne.
Dwayne does not move the needle that much.
No, he moves a needle.
He will never be on our show, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't want him on our show.
Me neither, really. But yeah, Dwayne doesn't. I mean, he moved it the first night when he first came back.
Yeah. And 2 more things in the industry news, and this came from TNA real quickly. Hogan contract will be expiring in a few months. Obviously, they fired Brooke a few weeks ago. Now Hogan's contract is going to expire in a few months, and Hogan's taking a lot of flack backstage for signing this deal with EA Sports about being the new WWE 2K14 game. He's taking some heat from TNA.
Why?
They were like, well, it's some backstage, unnamed sources, and TNA backstage saying it felt like a slap in the face for Hogan making a deal and appearing on WWE licensed game.
That's ridiculous. That sounds like jealousy. Because anybody who could get a contract to basically be in a video game and not do anything, why wouldn't you take that?
Exactly.
Why wouldn't you take that?
I do not blame him whatsoever. Really, if I was Hogan, I'd say, you know what, your run in TNA was horrible. When your contract expired, just pick up the phone and call Vince and say, can I get that lifetime contract you tried to give me a few years ago so I could get paid and stay home and never have to work again?
Right.
He'll work for it.
Yeah,
he'll work, but they won't put him in no.
No, they'd have him doing the grandpa spots and
exactly.
He'd be doing the legend killer spots.
Do the talking, and maybe they'll let him talk about bullying and.
Yeah, he'd be perfect for the anti-bullying campaign.
I think that would be great.
A la Darren Young. Oh.
Hey, that's something that we should touch on. Darren Young came out. I'm happy for him.
Me and Nick are going to end up fist fighting, though. I don't know.
He came out. Congratulations. It's done. It's over. Just WWE don't exploit his sexuality.
That's one thing, too. I hope they don't.
Just pretend like he never came out. It's like,
because it shouldn't make a difference.
But you have to say with a straight face, if he have not come out, he probably would have been future endeavor. He saved his freaking job.
Yeah.
He saved his job.
Yeah. I will say that, but I will say this. Now that he's with the company for a longer run now, what are they going to do with him?
I mean, you could do,
well,
you can still do a lot
they're booking
with
him to win, and he's getting a lot more of his stuff in, the last few weeks. He's showing he can actually do a...
But I just hope it's not because he came out.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Because really, they were pushing hard with Titus O'Neil.
They were.
In the last few months.
They were.
And now they sort of tell Titus, well, we will put you on the shelf for a minute. We're just
but of those two guys... Titus is the one you can bring back at any time and can shoot him to the top.
But the thing with Titus, he got the mic skills. That brother got the mic skills, but he's just terrible in the ring.
Right.
He reminds me of David Otunga. Well, he has a better grip in the ring.
Where is David Otunga?
He's staying at home getting a check.
Oh my!
He's a lawyer.
I saw his wife on the VMAs, and I was like, "Hey, where's your husband?"
Backstage, holding his cup of coffee.
No, he's backstage. Hey, he got business cards. You need a lawyer?
Exactly.
You need a lawyer?
He a worker/wrestler?
He might make more money as a lawyer than as a worker.
And it's
take a lot less bumps.
Plus, he'd be a lot more intimidating.
Yeah.
That's very true. Moving on to industry news, AJ Styles' contract is coming up, I believe, at the end of this month or next month. Could AJ Styles potentially cross over to the Fed?
I don't
He posed a question on Twitter and Facebook about where he should go. ROH, WWE, New Japan.
Well, I mean, if a door is open at the Fed, you go in it. I mean, but the thing is that door open?
The thing is, he's the first guy when the Fed bought out WCW to turn down a developmental deal. He was the first guy. He was sucked anyway during that time. Oh, yeah. I mean, he made a household name for himself in ROH and TNA. And basically, there's nothing else for him to do in TNA. He conquered TNA. X Division champ, tag champ, multi-time world champ. There's nothing else for him to do. I would love to see him go to WWE, maybe go down developmental just to learn their style. And I really hope they push him, make him to a big name, because he has a lot left in the tank. Cause he's not that old. I think he's in his early or mid-30s. He could contribute a lot.
I mean, if they're willing to bring Van Dam back, then...
Yeah. Imagine Styles versus Daniel Bryan or CM Punk. Those are matches you saw in ROH in their earlier days. Just imagine them right now at their peak having a match.
Or something that the fans have been wanting to see just in fantasy matches, like...
Exactly.
Say, Randy Orton versus AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a possibility. I would love to see AJ in WWE, but if the fans are not going to use him right creatively, then I say go back to the ROH.
They gotta change his name.
Oh God! What'd be his name change real quickly?
Ajax.
Oh. Or just call him Jax.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Jax.
Except he's not black and he doesn't have black robot eyes.
Doesn't matter. Just call him Jax. Just call him Jax. We have a double header for you tonight.
Two guys at the top of the card.
Exactly. Two guys who are at the prime peak of their wrestling career. First off, we have ROH superstar and maybe future ROH World Heavyweight Champion Michael Elgin, the unbreakable Michael Elgin. And our second interview is with the one and only former member of Inc. and former TNA Superstar, the one and only Jesse Neal.
Without any further ado, I give you these two interviews.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast. We have an exclusive interview for you today. We will be doing an interview with the one and only indie superstar, Ring of Honor superstar, the unbreakable Michael Elgin. Michael, welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast, buddy.
Woo! Oh, thank you very much for having me.
All right, we're like big out there. We're not going to keep you too long, Mike. I know you're very busy and stuff. You're on the road doing different indie promotions and you're working with ROH. Let's get right to it. I just want to ask you, sir, right off top, I was reading a little bit of your history a few days ago. I just want to know what inspired you at age 14 to join a wrestling school.
All my life it was something that I was interested in. All I spent my time doing was watching wrestling and playing with the wrestling toys and everything. So when I found a school that would take me at the age of 14, I just had to jump all over it.
Wow, awesome. I know Big Al remember those old wrestling toys from back in the day, and so do I. I believe I still have my Macho Man Randy Savage action figure at home somewhere.
Yeah.
Mike, can you describe to us your experience being trained at the Square Circle Training Academy?
Well, originally I went to a different school, but it wasn't very good. I was really lucky that I found Square Circle when I was 16, actually. I spent 2 years at the other school, and it just wasn't a school that really taught you very much. I learned the basics and kind of got my head around things by myself. Me and a couple of guys would show up early and get in the ring and work on stuff that really the trainers there couldn't really teach us. But at Square Circle, I mean, had a group of guys come in and out of there that were great. Tyson Duke spent a long
Oh, awesome. I also noticed... Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Mike, I also noticed in your travels, you travel from Canada, and you travel through the Midwest area to like Michigan and Indiana. Was it overwhelming for a guy at that early stage in your career to do that much traveling?
Not really. I mean, I knew that getting into it, that it would take a lot of land. Especially because Ontario had an athletic commission and we couldn't wrestle till we were 18. I knew that it meant that I would have to go to Ontario to wrestle, so I was kind of prepared for that. I don't really think that a lot of people are prepared for, the long hours in the car and the losing money at first, but luckily I kind of knew what I had to do to make it, so I was ready for it.
Awesome. I know you competed in various promotions like Pure Wrestling Association, the IWA Mid-South, and Maximum Pro Wrestling, and your stint at Great Canadian Wrestling. What sort of knowledge you gained from competing with those different organizations?
A lot of them, just because I was coming up fairly fast and was doing a lot outside of Ontario for a while, I was fortunate enough that a lot of the local promotions in Ontario would put me in the ring with a lot of the talent that they'd bring in from outside. So early on in my career, I got to work with guys like Johnny Devine, Bobby Roode, Rhino, even AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. So I got to learn a lot because I was working with so many talented guys that had been places and just were so knowledgeable and talented that it really helped me a long
Awesome.
Wow, dude. Mike, during your tenure at Great Canadian Wrestling, you competed in a ladder match and became their first GCW national champion. How did it feel becoming the promotion's first national champion, and how that victory impacted your career at the indie circuit?
It didn't so much impact my indie career outside of there. What really impacted that was my performances at GCW. As I said, that was one of the promotions that would bring guys in and allow me to work with them. So I got a lot of experience, and people were paying notice of that, and that's kind of what helped me out with other places. But GCW actually ran in my hometown, so it was good to win a belt in front of a lot of people, friends and family and everything. So it was a great company to start with and hold my first belt with.
Also, Mike, you had a tryout match with Ring of Honor in 2007. How you came about getting a tryout match with Ring of Honor during that time?
I worked with a couple guys that were Jimmy Jacobs, BJ Whitmer, and Jimmy Ray, and they all, liked my work, and they thought that I could have some good matches and be inside of Ring of Honor. So speaking with them, they just kind of put me in contact with Dave at the time, and I said, yeah, you're more than welcome to show up. I'll take you there. And also later in 2007, just because I was very consistent, he actually gave me a match on the main card in Minnesota later on in 2007 as well.
Awesome. According to Dave Misser of Wrestling Observer, he gave your matchup with Davey Richards for the ROH Championship a 5-star rating. What do you think of Dave Messer giving your match with Davey Richards a 5-star rating? Because I saw the match on YouTube, and it was an awesome match.
It's very, it's something that I'll never forget, and it's definitely a career highlight for many reasons. I was a big fan of Davey Richards, and just being able to share the ring with him and have a match like that on such a big stage was a great moment. Not only that, I was to retire tomorrow, and you look at the record books in pro wrestling, and you see my name under the star matches, which the list isn't very long, and the people who have made that are, the who's who of professional wrestling. So I'm definitely in the top echelon when you look at the history books.
All right. How did it feel competing in front of your home crowd of Toronto, Canada, when you defeated Adam Cole in the very next event?
It's good. Always going back home feels great. You have a lot of family and friends and local wrestlers that you came up with to get to see where you're at now. And it's always a pleasure to be back home, and definitely when you're in the ring with somebody as good as Adam Cole. And it's even better when you come off the winning end, which I did that night. So it was definitely a great moment.
ROH gave you recently a long-term extension. Was it for the biggest moment of your career?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
ROH recently gave you a long-term extension. Was it the biggest moment of your career when the company felt confident enough to give you a long-term extension?
It definitely was a highlight. It made me feel like they saw something in me and that I could be the face of the company in the future. So it was definitely a big moment for me. But there's so much that's been going on with Ring of Honor and so many big matches that they've put me in that it's hard to say it's a highlight of my career.
Awesome. We know right now they're having the ROH World Heavyweight Championship Tournament, and you got past the first 2 rounds, and I want to say congratulations on that.
Well, thank you very much.
And do you know when ROH is going to announce the 3rd round of the tournament? I believe, are you in the Final 4 right now?
Yeah, Final 4. I'm wrestling Kevin Steen in the next round, and it's in Philly.
Awesome.
I can't. It's September 20th.
September 20th. Would that be a ROH taping, or would that be an internet pay-per-view?
Well, they're not doing the internet pay-per-views for right now, but it is one of the VOD specials that will be up almost right after.
Oh, awesome.
It airs. Right after it's up. So probably be up the 21st, 22nd, and we also are taping TV in Philly on the 21st.
be honest with us, Mike. Do you think you have a legit shot of winning the ROH championship?
Absolutely. I think if you look at 2013, people are talking about my matches. I think that any show I'm on, people know they're going to see something special and they're going to see a match that they'll never forget. So I definitely think that I'm in the running. He's the next Ring of Honor World Champion. It's also a career goal that I've set for myself a long time ago, and I'm not going to rest until that happens.
I just have a feeling, as you said, by looking at your matches in 2013, I just have this feeling in the pit of my stomach that you're due for a world title run. And to me, you're a Midwest guy, even though you're from Canada, eh?
Hey, you know what? We're from Michigan. Canada, we might as well be Canadian.
Yeah, we might as well be Canadian here in Michigan. But I really hope you win the championship. I think you're due up for it. I truly think you're ready. And definitely, man, I cannot wait for that night that you win the ROH World Heavyweight Championship, dude. We are pulling for you and praying for you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much for the support.
Also, do you have any sort of ambitions someday of maybe joining TNA or the WWE?
You know, as of right now, it's not something that I'm really working to accomplish anytime soon. I think that if you get in professional wrestling, the main goal is to kind of get into WWE. So that's always, floating around as something you want to do. But there's a lot of things I want to accomplish before that. One is becoming a Ring of Honor World Champion, and another one is competing in Japan. So I'd like to, kind of check those two things off my bucket list before I make any moves in my career.
Just listening to you now, I was just silently confirming with my friend about how just the way you're talking made me think he's going to want to go to Japan.
Yeah, it's just something that I've been trying to get there, and I'm hoping that by the end of this year or early next year that will definitely be happening.
Now, has Dragon Gate been looking at you at all?
No, the only kind of dealings I had with Dragon Gate was before I signed with Ring of Honor in 2010. So I really haven't spoken with them, but I've been hitting up. I've talked briefly to Noah, and now I've sent some stuff out to New Japan. I'm hoping to work with New Japan in the near future.
Okay, I feel a Twitter campaign coming, Mike. I think the Heel Turn Podcast is going to be campaigning for Michael Elgin to go to New Japan. I feel a Twitter campaign coming.
Yeah.
Oh, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we're going to start the Twitter campaign to send Michael Elgin to Japan. Hashtag.
Perfect.
After he wins the championship.
It doesn't matter if he wins the championship or not. We're sending Elgin to Japan right now.
But then he can't knock that to-do thing off his to-do list.
Well, that's true. You got... Okay. I'll calm down. First thing first, you going out and capturing the World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, would be a great thing if I could accomplish both by the end of the year.
Mike, do you have any indie gigs coming up that you want to shout out there to your fans and to our fans on the Heel Turn Podcast? You still with us, Mike?
I'm sorry, Mike. You're going to have to repeat those. You broke up through that.
WG's Battle of Los Angeles in Reseda, California. So those are two big shows that I'd love for people to come out to if they're in the area.
What was the first one?
They're both, it's PWG. They're both nights in Battle of Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
All right, awesome.
And Sunday is IWL in Monrovia. And, not even just for me, there's a match happening. It's Josh Alexander and Ethan Page against the Young Bucks, and that's a match that I'm looking forward to seeing. So I'm hoping that people check that out too.
Awesome, Mike. According to your history here, you're Bill from I think it's Belleville, Illinois?
Belleville I live in now.
Yeah, Belleville. Are you a Chicago fan by any chance? A Chicago sports fan?
No, I'm still partial Toronto.
Oh.
You know what? You know what? I'm sure he's a hockey fan, and
You know, to tell you the truth, I'm really not that big of a hockey fan.
What? You're from Toronto? You're not a hockey fan? What in the world's going on?
Man, I grew up on basketball, wrestling, and baseball.
So you're a Toronto Raptors fan?
A little bit. With basketball, I found myself more kind of fans of players instead of teams, just because Toronto Raptors have sucked ever since they started.
You know what? I couldn't agree more.
The Blue Jays, I'm a big fan of, and I'm hoping that next season they kind of start playing more like a team, because we got a good team. They're just not playing very well.
You know what? They probably just need to find a way to gel.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that happens next year.
You know what, Mike? They don't suck worse than the Chicago Cubs right now. So at least you got something to cheer for in Toronto. The Cubs were about 4 or 5 years away. Thank you so much for joining us, Mike. We would love to have you back on again, and hopefully next time you be wearing the ROH World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope so too.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you for our second interview, former member of Inc. and a former TNA Superstar, the one and only Jesse Neal. Welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast, Jesse.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's an honor to be on the show, brother.
Hey, thanks for coming with us, sir.
Well, once again, Jesse, let me ask you, what inspired you to get involved in the wrestling industry?
I mean, to be honest with you, I've always been a fan of it since I was a little kid. But it's always been like, not even really a dream to become a wrestler, because I thought it was just impossible, when I was a little kid. But I just kept watching it. I was just, a good fan of it, And I kind of looked at it as like, comic book characters, being superheroes and the villains and stuff like that as a kid. But growing up through high school and obviously going through the military and stuff when I did,
Right.
the Attitude Era was alive and well.
Oh, heck yeah.
What? And I mean, that right there just showed me, like, wow, that's awesome. And that's where I truly became a fan of it. And then I went through what I went through in the military, the bombing of my ship and stuff. And I just felt like after that I wanted to do something big, something that meant something in my life that I'll always be remembered for. And, keep the message of my brothers and sisters alive, that, freedom ain't free, that there's soldiers and sailors and stuff. They're fighting even now today, they're still over there fighting. So, I wanted to do something big, I wanted to do something fun.
Right.
And I still wanted to travel a bit, and just, interact with people and stuff. And hell, I'll be honest with you, I just wanted to punch people in the face, you know what I mean?
Don't we all want to just punch somebody in the face sometimes? Just like my co-host over here, I just want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, well, whatever. Before we go on, I must say this. Thank you for your service, sir.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that, man. Really do.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you for your service, dude. Can you describe your experience being trained at Team 3D's Wrestling Academy?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't really know what to expect going into that school. And the very first person I met when I walked through their doors was Bubba himself. And, just even watching him on TV and stuff, he's pretty intimidating. And when I walked through and I met him the first time, it was pretty intimidating the first time when I sat down with him. But, I mean, to be honest, man, that man, he's a genius in this business. He knows how to make money in this business. And so that's a big reason why I went to that school, is because I watched Bubba and Devon. I've seen them live in ECW days,
right.
Going to the shit shows, and the fairgrounds and stuff like that. I watched that, man, and that meant a lot to me, because they went out there and gave it all to us fans, at the time. And then I seen their school pop up in Kissimmee, Florida, which I live in Orlando, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is it, man. I need to go there. And like I said before, I didn't know what to expect, man. But I'm gonna tell you what, it was pure hell. Going there every day, pushing myself, and that's one of the hardest things going through wrestling schools. Any wrestling school, really, is to put yourself through that pain and suffering and sacrificing everything that you've always known and worked so hard for. You got to sacrifice everything to become something in this wrestling business, and that's what I did, and I still am. I still go to that school, whether or not I've been on TV or not, and been to TNA in the gym 24/7.
Awesome.
I mean, my training never stops, and because this business never stops.
Right.
Now, you said that your training was harder than what? Do you say your training was harder than what you went through basic?
Yes, definitely, because the reason why I say this is because in basic, I kind of expected what that was coming, and I was forced to stay there. I knew I had to do this. There was no walking away from boot camp. I had to stay there and finish it. And the hardest thing about going to wrestling school is making yourself get up every day and drive to that wrestling school to get your ass beat by some of the best in the business. And you wonder why. Why am I doing this? So you ask yourself, and anybody will do it, and any superstar that's on TV right now could tell you that they did it too. You're always sitting there saying, why am I doing this? You're always asking yourself, why am I doing this? It's what keeps you going there every day, what makes stars.
Exactly. And Jesse, about making stars, can you basically describe to us your overall experience when you made your TNA debut in 2009?
Well, I mean, me getting signed with TNA so early, that was a true blessing, and just being there, and to be honest with you, my first couple of months there, I had no clue what I was doing. I think that was obvious. Because, going to a school, with one ring in there and no cameras, no nothing, it's intimidating to wrestle in front of Bubba and Devon and to wrestle with them and get your ass beat, but it's another thing to be on live TV with a red light on top of a camera, and you must perform 110%, because if you're not, you can walk back through that curtain and you could be gone the next day. You never know. So
right.
It was definitely really intimidating, and I was very nervous at the beginning. So it took a lot for me to get used to it and to become myself.
Right.
And through that, they came out with my military character, which it wasn't really a character, it was for real.
Right.
The problem I had at the beginning was people were like, were you really in the military? This guy wasn't really in the military, because they think everything in wrestling is fake. Well, it's not. We're real people, and I brought my real story to the wrestling fans, and I still am going. Like I said before, trying to find myself and stuff. I definitely found myself, and the fans out there have not even seen the beginnings of Jesse Neal yet.
Awesome. And Jesse, you had a incredible run with Shannon Moore as Inc. And you guys had some incredible matches with Generation Me, with Beer Money,
Motor City Machine
Guns, with the band Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
Even if I'm not mistaken, you also did 3D.
And yeah, you also had a couple of matches with Team 3D. Do you think deep down that TNA dropped the ball with you and Shannon Moore and not putting the tag straps on you guys?
Well, I've heard that a lot of times. Even when I was there, a lot of people were telling me, in the business, out of the business, man, they dropped the ball with you. And I see that, but who am I to say they dropped the ball with me? They gave me one hell of an opportunity. And to be honest with you, I wish I could do the 3 years I had in TNA all over again now, because I'm a completely different person, completely different attitude. And once I get signed back with either company right now,
right,
people are definitely going to see that attitude, because I'm going to take what I want. I'm not going to sit around like this newbie and stuff. I'll still have the same respect that I always do, because I'll always have that till the day I die. But I'm going to take what I want now. And there's no holding back. I'm not going to wait for somebody to give me permission.
Right.
I'm just going to take it.
Awesome. I love that determination. I love that ambition. I'm sorry, Big Al. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, are you actually actively looking to go to either ROH or WWE right now?
To be honest with you, I had some really good phone calls the last couple of months. And everybody knows how hard it is to get in the business. Even if you've been in it and you're out of it, it's still hard to get back in it. But, to be honest with you, I'm having one hell of a time on the indie scene right now. I've really found myself on the indie scene, because I can cut loose and be myself and really get to know who I am inside that ring. And I think a couple of the companies out there have taken notice. So, to leave it at this, I don't really want to say much about what I'm doing here soon, but my phone can ring any second right now. So things are really looking good for Jesse Neal, and hopefully for my great fans, my great followers out there.
Speaking of the WWE, Jesse, early in the year, did you have tryouts with WWE down in Florida?
Yeah, actually I did in February. They called me up. I was very lucky for them to call me up in December. They invited me out to Tribute to the Troops as a guest, not for a tryout or anything, just a guest, because it was in Norfolk, Virginia, and I did thank them publicly for, asking me to be there as a guest. And, I mean, that was one great experience. And then, they invited me to Raw the next day and stuff, so I sat down with a lot of them and talked to some people about some things, stuff like that, threw some ideas around. And I guess they took notice, and they definitely called me back for a tryout in February. I know I didn't go public with it because I just really wanted it quiet because I was just, doing my own business, doing my own thing, at the time. And it went well. I'm going to be honest with you. I am very confident in that tryout, what I did. I gave them 110%. I gave them everything I had. And you never know what can come of it.
Awesome, dude. Because I read various rumors on the internet that you had a tryout match, and I actually was very excited for you. I thought you'd be a good piece down there at WWE Developmental and NXT, and I'm still pulling for you to someday get with the WWE, because I think you'd be an awesome talent. It'd be a great addition to their roster. And one more thing, Jesse. Just on a lighter note, are you still engaged to your beautiful fiance, Brittany Savage?
Of course I am. She's sitting right next to me. You think I'm going to let this one go?
Let Brittany know she is one of the best independent female wrestlers out there. I'm a huge fan of hers. I'm a huge fan. She is a very beautiful woman.
Hell, why do you think I've gotten better in the last 2 months on the Indies? Because I've had her around. She's been fixing me a lot, man. She's a woman, man. And I know out there everybody knows that I don't really like, the women wrestling stuff on the Indies that's going on right now, but she can beat some ass, man. Why do you think I got with her?
Anything you want to add to that one, Big Al?
No. I think everything was said.
I think Big Al's intimidated by Brittany.
Yes, very much. Strong women scare me.
Let's just say she keeps me on my toes when she's around, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, brother. I know what you're saying.
I married one, and so did he.
I feel like a 16-year-old all over again.
Watch out now. Watch out now. Well, Jesse, thank you so much for coming on with the Heel Turn podcast. We would love to have you back in the near future to talk some more about the wrestling industry and maybe talk a little bit more on TNA right now. Do you still keep up with the current product in TNA?
Oh, of course, man. I'm always going to be a student of the game. They kind of contacted me too a couple months ago, so I gotta be up to date on a lot of things that's going on out there because, to be honest with you, I don't even know where I'm going to go next week or tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right.
Things can change off of a hat. Just wherever there's opportunity and I can do my stuff in front of the great fans, I'm always going to be there. And with me, you always get the truth right up front.
Awesome, dude. Listen, if you pop up on Impact one of these Thursdays, I want you to send a shout out to the Heel Turn podcast.
That would be no problem, brother. As soon as I get there, I'll probably do that, man. Definitely, man.
Awesome.
That would be.
But you never know. You never know.
Well, Jesse, thank you so much for joining us on the Heel Turn podcast, and I wish you the best of luck. God bless you, brother.
Oh, before we forget.
Man, it's definitely been an honor.
Oh, hold on. Before we forget, do you have any upcoming indie dates?
Actually, I don't have anything in September right now. What?
Okay,
Oh, wait a minute. Actually, yes, I have one show that's scheduled right now. It's in Orlando, Florida. It's a Frank Goodman show, and if you guys know Frank Goodman out there, he throws one hell of a show.
Mm-hmm.
Last show I had a TLC match, and me and my opponent, Sam Shaw from TNA, we needed help. We were actually carried out of that building, both of us. So
wow.
Definitely both of us gave it all to the fans, and you guys can see that all on YouTube too. But yep, all the way
Awesome, dude. And we definitely go throw that information up on our Twitter page and on our blog site as well. Well, once again, thank you so much.
Definitely. And everybody out there that's listening, you can always follow me on Jesse Neal at Twitter.com. I throw up all my stuff on there. I'm always up to date on there, and some goofy shit too.
Oh.
Everybody loves goofy stuff.
That's right. Can't take this shit too seriously.
Nope.
I totally agree.
All right. Well, Jesse, it was great talking to you, sir, and I guess we'll catch you some other time. Hopefully while you're in
sounds
TNA.
good, man. Thank you.
All right. Take care, sir.
All right.
Bye. All right, and I guess it's time for our wrap-up. I am Big Al.
Nick, the Shopmaster McGee.
And the returning Sensational SoCy.
Have a week, and get out of my ring.